Hey everybody, it's Bust with Bust Builds Decks number 44. Today we have the coldest video in the entirety of YouTube. We have our 3-star Ashe up against the 5-star Lissandra in the Frostwitch quest. And so, if you're a daily follower, feel free to skip ahead. We're going to take the same strategy that we used against Aurelion Sol in this same video. A lot of the same key strategies we used there we're going to see here. But if you aren't familiar with that, if you didn't see our previous video, what I always talk about in these videos are the 3 pillars of Path of Champions strategy, the main points that you need to look for in every deck. That's going to be a rally, a removal spell, and a scaling ability. And so as far as Ashe goes, the scaling she doesn't have. She's bad at scaling. She doesn't have any way to grow and grow and grow and grow her units, and so you have to find some way to deal combat damage. The main problem that you'll run into with Ashe is we'll generate 30 power on the board. It's all unblockable. We attack, but we needed to deal 75 to kill off the opponent. So they get another action. We go to another turn. We attack for another 30. The opponent still has 15 health left. So we have to go through the whole cycle again and again just to finish off the game. And so we do look for something to help us finish the game off a little bit more quickly, as the opponent can just play the Watcher, nuke our deck, and make the game end that way. And so we need something that can strike them down quick. As far as the rally goes, Ashe doesn't super need it. She has it kind of baked into her kit. I know she doesn't have a physical rally ability, but if you want to think what makes rallies good, you attack with 100 power of units, your opponent's block, you dealt 0 damage, the turn ends. And what the rally really gives you there is you get to attack the second time after your opponent's board has been cleared, and that's how you actually finish off the game. And so Ashe is very similar to that second attack, being able to frostbite the entirety of the opposing board, attack with all of your units, and go through unblocked. Last but not least is that removal spell section, and that's where we really hammer home the relic abilities with our Ashe. And so Ashe does not have any great way to kill an opposing unit, but the frostbites are quite strong in the sense that their burst speed, and so you can use them in the middle of combat. If your opponent open attacks or whatever, you can neuter their unit in combat, but they don't remove the opposing unit at the end of the day. And so if we frostbite the Watcher during its attack, it still KOs our deck, and we have to work with that restriction for the rest of the game. And so what I'm using with the relics is going to be the Archangel's Staff and then the Grand General's Counterplan. This is going to give us a Frostbite in our hand every turn. Is that what it's called? The Ashe Flip? Is it Frostbite? Is it Flash Freeze? I can't remember. Not Crystal Arrow, Flash Freeze. There we go. So we'll be generating a Flash Freeze in our hand every turn of the game. And then with the Archangel's Staff, generating that 3 spell mana every turn, we should have the mana to play it turn after turn after turn. And so my idea with doing this is we really kind of shore up that removal spell weakness within the Ashe deck, and then that lets us focus in on the scaling. And last but not least with this, we use the Laurent Blade Rack. I don't care what you use as a defensive type item, but you have to have Ashe on the board for this strategy to work. And so I use the Laurent Blade Rack because I like the interactivity that it gives. If you want to use something like Guardian Angel, more power to you. As long as Ashe survives and is on the board turn after turn after turn, then you're getting what you want out of that third relic. And so let's see what we can do. Let's jump into battle, see if we can't have a little bit of success against old Lissandra here. Good stuff, good stuff. Had fun with that last one. Certain we'll have fun with this one. What do we got here in the old champions? There's our friend Ornn turning up at the middle. Gotta like that. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so are we interested in any of these? Now, the thing I like to say with Ashe is she's kind of a combat-oriented champion, right? She already has 2 challengers in the deck with the Avarosian Sentry and with the Frostbite killing dog thing. And so I really like for our units to be kind of combat focused, because that's where she's just like naturally good at, right? If we're frostbiting units, then we can probably win the combat against it. And so nothing on board here really fits the bill. Lux is kind of interesting since we're going to be casting spells every turn, and we have the Archangel Staff, and we can use that to kind of build up those final sparks. But I would rather find somebody just like a little bit more combat oriented than this. And so if we're not interested in Lux, we're definitely not interested in Vhagar, and then I'm not looking to go down the landmark route with Malphite. We just don't have any combos with that. So let me check the Eye of Rahorok real quick. Sometimes this expensive landmark comes up with some really good items attached to it, but the hunting trophy just isn't it. So let's take a roll, see what turns up here. Elder Dragon, He is more combat oriented, but we're not going to have that many expensive units in our deck, and so I'm looking to skip over it. Don't want Nocturne or Maokai. Let's keep rolling. Maybe somebody will turn up, and I'm okay with one of the two here. We can immediately like disregard Talia. We're not going to do anything with landmarks, but Samira is always interesting. Samira is always strong. We have the way to cast these spells over and over and over again. We can use Samira to generate rallies and stuff. It's a very interesting champion here. Otherwise, Action is another very strong champion. We don't have a ton of targets, but he comes down to the game early. He scales pretty well. He works nicely with the Frostbite since he can strike in combat and be guaranteed to not die. And so I'm interested in him in that sense as well. He does have a little bit of power in the Vaqueran Vagabond with the Spirit Stone. I always like these units that you can summon over and over again. The Vaqueran Safecracker is something we would look to cut from the deck, though. And so it's interesting. What's this thing on the Stylish Shot? That's a very build-aroundy style of card right here, huh? Having the Titanic ability attached to the Stylish Shot. I kind of like it. Now, like, the downside to Samira and the Stylish Shots, we don't have a lot of great ways to just deal damage to the enemy Nexus, right? We have to overwhelm, or we have to win a combat or something, or we have to have a big unblockable attack to where we probably already winning the game anyways. But, you know, this early on, I feel like we can really kind of navigate around that. And I really like the idea of casting this Stylish Shot a bunch of times and using that to activate, some kind of big Titanic unit. And so let's take it. I'm on board. I think this is going to be real cool. It's a decent Samira as well with the Focusing Crystal, just giving her permanent and bonus stats. And so as we are out here flash freezing things over and over again, the Samira is growing. I'm on board. I like what's happening here. Let's jump this into battle. And so I gotta remember though, where's the loadout button? We get there in that first pick. Like I got the Samira and I was like, Soul Fighter, gotta make her Soul Fighter. And so we'll come back to that. How do we look as far as these goes? Spellburn is epic, right? That's the one you immediately draw your eyes to, but it's not something that I don't. I was gonna say I'm not super interested in it, but it does give us like the free plunder kind of thing for Samira, and so. I am actually kind of bringing myself back to this. It was, as I was like saying in the previous section, we don't have a way to just deal damage to the enemy Nexus, and then we pull up Spellburn and we're like, well, maybe I just don't want that, right? Maybe I don't want a way to just deal damage to the enemy Nexus. But I immediately think of this in terms of going big, right? Doing a big combo style play with it or something, and maybe that's too far. I like where this goes, though. This Spellburn Samira should be fairly good. So, all right, into the gold chest, only a hundy. Back to the shop. What do we got for the items? Now, you must watch these flash freezes as they turn up with items. This is the spell we're looking to cast literally every single turn of the game. And so if you do get flash freeze with, grant an item or something on it, right? Like over here on the shared spoils, grant your strongest ally a epic item. Like, it's very, very, very worth taking. But I don't want to be shuffling copies of flash freeze within our deck. And so we'll skip that. Might come back and re-roll on these items. That's something I typically like to do. But let's see what else we got out here. And so Feel the Rush, very strong. Don't think we need it right at the moment. I also do really like Three Sisters. It does give us a kind of permanent removal spell in the Entomb and a lot of versatility, but I don't like it having the shuffle copies into my deck. Otherwise, don't want Shatter, don't want the Hearthguard. This is a very big damage Death's Hand, but it's not quite good enough, I don't think. Maybe we'll circle back and actually add that to our deck. Like, no, it is a way to deal damage, and if we have Ashe on board, we might not want to be casting the free flash freeze and would rather do Death's Hand. Maybe that'll be a thing, but I want to come back here and roll this real quick. I want to see if we can't find something a little bit better. Omen Hawk with the gauntlets. This is just a fantastically strong item. Getting the capture onto a one-cost unit, absolutely love it. So let's add that in. Going back to the cards, probably should just go ahead and re-roll here at the beginning. I feel kind of bad just burning them all, but maybe something big will turn up. And these Rhymefang Wolves are going to do it. These are quite strong as well. Very happy to stack this in our deck as we do get a ton of flash freezes. Having this as our actual removal spell is a pretty good deal. I like that we're able to play these super cheap with the Power riff. There we go. I was trying to think. Is like, is it star power? Is a guitar hero out here on this thing? But no, if we draw this on the first turn of the game, it's got to have a bunch of negative costs. It might even be free. Since we draw the champion, we draw our natural card for the turn. It only costs 1. Doesn't take too much effort to get this down to 0 cost. I like what we've assembled here. This feels pretty good. Now let me check, make sure we don't want anything else. Don't want the Icy Yeti. Reaver don't really need. Yeah, I think we're good to go here. So all right. Let's jump into the battles. I do eyeball immediately this champion item chest in the middle. Like to come in and just stack a ton of copies of Ashe, and so I'm interested in it. We got item chest at the bottom, gold chest at the top. Let's see if this middle battle looks ridiculous. It's the Scar Grounds round, which I think we can handle. With the dogs that we just picked up, we should be able to fight through that pretty reasonably. Otherwise, this capture round is fucking absurd. I do not like taking the capture battle. And then down at the bottom, the Yetis are kind of okay. All right, yeah, we'll jump in the middle. Hit the old Frostbite Shaman here. See what we can do. Whew. All right, what do we got? The Ashe here to start. Let's take a mulligan, see if we can't find a Samira, find a dog. Good friends for the early game. Good stuff. So no dogs turned up. I think that's okay. I'll still just go ahead and slap this Samira on the board. I'd like to save the Omen Hawk for a more removal-oriented turn. And this Elegant Edge is not going to do anything in this match, right? It's just going to come down, fall to 0 health, and then go ephemeral after that. And so we'll have to watch out for that a little bit. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get the Ice Veil Archer down. I think on our next turn, we should still be able to play Ashe and get an attack in. She doesn't have to do combat damage to be effective. She can still get her Frostbite going, and then everybody's going to have Challenger as well. And so it should be very easy for her to kind of pick and choose a good combat here. Ooh, a big double summon, though. Not that awesome. Guess we'll have to leave Samira at home. Okay. A little slower than I like, but I think we're going to build up nicely after this. Ashe should be flipped as the next turn rolls around. It'll be okay. How does this work? It needs a Nexus Strike, right? Yeah, I was going to say, do we just get to cast our spells for free and immediately get the stylish shots? That's not the way it works. So he frostbites the team. Let me double check real quick. Okay. Our team doesn't just die. And Malphite hits the board. I always get weirded out by that Winter's Breath. There's the opportunity for what's their name? The opportunity for Galio to come out of that thing, and he's a lot more painful than having the Malphite come in. Well, that was kind of cool. I didn't even realize that was going to happen. We cast the spell, dealt the damage to the opponent, and now we got the plunder for the shared spoils. Good to remember that kind of nonsense as well. No backing down. So let's just go ahead and take the blocks, prevent the damage. Our units aren't going to die. Our Samira's going to grow a bit after this. Guess we could have dealt more damage to the Frostcoat Cub, but sometimes it takes me a hot minute to get our focus together. No real reason to bank that spell mana either. It'll come to me, you know? You gotta give it a shot. But let's do this. Let's lead off with the stylish shot, see if anybody interesting turns up. I'm leaning towards Virna, because she's just the cheapest one. I think that's okay. Is she gonna be better than a Battering Ram? Probably not. Okay, let's go Battering Ram. It's like the Battering Ram comes down, gets frostbitten, and doesn't care. Sad day for Samira. Now, does this plunder happen after the unit comes down? Is this going to be a 0 power or a 6 power? Yeah, it's a 0. Kind of sucks. We still get a strong attack in this turn. Oh, if we're gonna spin... Oh, we don't have any real mana. Okay. Is that gonna be enough? We're getting really close to flipping this Samira.
This should be fun.
Let's see how the Frostbites fall. The 6/6 and the 2/2 are what we have to deal with. Let's just go ahead and put the 2/2 in front of Samira, get the takedown on it. Pull the 6/6 in front of, I guess, our big boy. We can, if we're not going to kill it, we might as well put it in front of the Ephemeral, right? Since it's just going to die in the combat anyways. Okay. Reasonable chunk of damage coming in. But this is why I talk about needing the scaling, right? We got an attack in, but we didn't... we didn't get that close to finishing off the opponent. 24 is still pretty healthy. He can still get pretty active on board, and so some stuff to worry about there. But I think this will be okay. Spell Shielded Dum Dum is fairly annoying. But we've got 2 Frostbites in hand. Shouldn't be too problematic. This Samira is getting a lot bigger than I was giving her credit for. I was like, yeah, she's going to stay pretty small. You know, if she's a 4/4, I was going to be pretty happy with it, but she's definitely getting a robust stat line. I like this stuff. I like this. We got all this chip damage coming in. Now, the thing I have to say early, the thing I have to get in my head as I try and piece together what we're doing with this deck, is there is the bullshit Lissandra stuff to where you can only play a handful of cards each turn, right? That's that's fairly annoying to deal with, and so I will need to remember that that's a thing.
Lead the target.
But reasonable blocks here. Look at this. This Samira is off the charts. I guess she did get some items onto her. She has a +3/+3 item on there, which is a bit of a deal breaker as well, but this should just be done, right? So here's the main way we'll finish these games off. We'll play the Flash Freeze out of hand for free. The Ashe attack is going to Frostbite the other Den Mother. Guess there's not a... We can Stylish Shot. We're going to miss out on... We're gonna miss out on the Titanic lands, but I don't think that really matters at this point. This game should just be done, so even if he has a Flash Freeze for Samira, I think we have enough damage in there. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. I like the way this is coming together.
The war is over. Now we rebuild.
Alright, so post-battle, what do we got? A Harsh Winds. I'm fine with adding in Harsh Winds. This is something we had in our previous video as well, both the Harsh Winds and the Frostbite package, or the Flash Freeze package. It's just nice to be able to get a complete and full shutdown on the opposing board. And then these things are good offensively and defensively, right? So on the defense, when the opposing attack is coming in, that's fairly obvious, but offensively as well, like on that last turn where we dropped a Flash Freeze out to get the complete unblockable attack with Ashe, Harsh Winds really helps in that sense as well. So good stuff there. Move into the champion item chest. Anything good with this? No, I'm wanting to stack Ashe. Like, I see this Excavator's Charge, and I'm just like, oh shit, we can just... Like, this is a very Samira-friendly item as we look to just chain off a bunch of spells, but I think I'm still more interested in just stacking up on Ashe. I'm going to actually take the Bright Staff here to give her that permanent stat bonus. Probably, well, we'll probably just get more out of the Excavator's Charge, right? The first turn, like if we play Ashe on our 4-mana turn, the Bright Staff is probably better, but then every turn after that, I'd say the Charge is going to be better. So we'll take that. Moving forward, we either have the Warden of the Tribes with Frostbite package. That should be okay. It tends to be a fairly non-interactive deck that our Frostbites are very good against. They do get to start with the Dog, though, right? The Dogs tie into the subtypes a little bit. Or we go down to the bottom against the Zephyr Sage. I'm not the hugest fan of our units all being vulnerable, and so let's actually come up here to the Warden of the Tribes, and then we'll go into the quick attack battle, which we're strong against as well, and then make our way up to Ithid Stairs. so we made it through the 2 battles, picked up a Sejuani there in the middle. She has the cost reduction item to where she's 1 less each turn she's in your hand. Reasonable enough addition to our deck since we have so many ways to plunder, level her up turn after turn after turn. I think she's a good addition. The downside to adding in that Sejuani was when we get to draw the champion at the start of the game, we kind of either just want Samira or Ashe. We would like to just naturally draw Sejuani later on, and she kind of gets in the mix there. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a little bit of a bummer. Now, as far as these go, I don't like any of these cards, but we are out of rerolls. I'm just going to take the Frozen in Fear. We should be able to use the Rhinefang packs reasonably well, and it fits in the theme with what we're doing. And so it does give us a little bit of a scaling unit. I'm just not a huge fan of these slow speed cards. But I think it'll be okay. Moving forward, like with the Itzit Stairs, they just go big on turn 3. We can't win the game that fast, but we do have a lot of Frostbites to try and get in front of it. So I think that we'll be okay. Like, the way I'm kind of thinking of this is like, do we want to go to the healer and heal? Probably not. Do we want to cut a card? I'm okay with that, but the card that I typically look to cut first is something like the Averosian Trapper, because it just tends to like sit in your hand and be clogged all the time. But with all of our dogs that cost less for each card draw, I think that it might actually be less terrible than usual, right? And so I'm not completely opposed to just going and picking up the power here, seeing if we can't get something defensive to help us get to the stage to where our Ashe is on board. And so let's go for it. Let's take that power. Mana Flow, awesome. You can't complain about picking up Mana Flow, just one of the most powerful ones in the game. Now we get to roll into the Ithid Stairs. So it is sad that all of our units will be vulnerable, but I think that we can handle this defensively. We need some of the Frostbite dogs that can KO the 0 power units and stuff to help manage their fully flooded board. So there's one. A dog. Not too confident in our abilities to take this game down by turn 3, but Omen Hawk will help as well. Here's our friend Samira.
I excel at making heads turn and roll. No problem.
All right, getting him for 5 damage. Look out, opponent. Look out. So hang on to the Omen Hawk. Definitely want to save that to capture one of the opponent's big plays. We'll drop Ashe this turn. And now this is where the party starts. And so with us having the Rhinefang Wolf, like, I kind of want to take it a little slow. Like, what if Stylish Shot was a decent draw? I would have preferred to have another unit, but it's like I want the opponent to play a unit here. Ideally a unit that just doesn't kill all of ours. And so I think I'm going to add it. I'll pick up the Mahara just to ensure that we have another removal spell handy. And then I think that we're okay. We just burst past this? Like, he's gonna start playing a bunch of fucking cards. Winter's Breath is annoying. Oh, probably should have waited till after the fact. We can kind of burst through this with our Ashe and with our Samira, so that if he plays another Winter's Breath, we'll just have the one attack to fight through. So we got to burn the spell here. Let's use the Flare so that we can still flash freeze afterwards. He's really counting on him to play some units. Like, I think we're fine, right? He's out here still just trying to do stuff. Revna comes in. She's not the unit I was really interested in trying to take down. Ithid Stairs is the big one, right? It doesn't actually kill any of our plays. I guess the bummer for us here is that like, we don't have any attack power on board. We don't have a way to get attack to the Rhinefang Wolf. So let's just go ahead and get the other unit on board. Like, we could potentially still put an attack together for the turn.
Guide our allies, my friend.
But it's probably not going to happen.
Beautiful.
Probably off the table at this
Just
point.
how I like it.
I think we're okay, though. We're more than adequately set up to handle the onslaught of big attacks from the opponent. So we do at least have a safe attack here, right? With the Ashe putting the Frostbite onto Revna. We just don't have a super good one in the sense of being able to take a Rhinefang Wolf challenge. Got our stylish shot back as well. I forgot about that. I forgot that we were going to do cool shit with that thing. Good stuff. So can we ever say, like, attack this turn? What's our Samira at? We need to cast 6 spells? That's probably off the table. This stuff all looks very expensive. Let's be done with stylish shot, though. Who do we want here? Rasa is probably okay. We'll go with Bright Steel, just in case we want to make a big attack. Now I'm gonna Mahara. Big ones.
We must own our regrets, else they find us.
Just call 0? Oh, that's stupid. I didn't realize that was gonna be a thing. Are we fucked? I think we're okay. It didn't pan out how we wanted, but we can still cast Harsh Winds on this turn. That's dumb. That's like, this is gonna be sweet. Falsehood right there.
My aim is true.
There's the Ashe flip, though. We don't have 40 damage on board, so we're gonna have to get into a few more combats, but this game has thoroughly been handled. Let's just start casting stuff.
Thrilling. Blink and you'll miss me.
See where this goes.
Thrilling.
Gets us up to 3, so we should be able to play the Frozen in Fear for free, play the Ashe thing, and play an Elegant Edge, and then be good for a rally after the fact.
Blink and you'll
See if he's got any more units. Now, I'm not entirely certain what all's in the If It Stares kit. I mean, I think we're safe at this point, but they've been sitting on 2 spells when all of their cards are free, and so I'm a little suspicious of what's happening there. But I mean, it seems like we're doing okay. So let's just put the highest health in front of the Rhinefang Wolf. 15 is just a little bit short for the Samira. I don't intend on playing a card to give her a bonus attack for the turn. Maybe we do something like that. Like, if I knew the cards that this opponent played, we probably could have just attacked and then played stuff to rally and then attacked again. But I am a little bit concerned if we do something like that and then they Harsh Winds and then we have to deal with the follow-up turn. It gives us a lot of opportunity for failure. And so
blink and you'll miss me.
wanted to take just a little bit safer route here.
Try to keep up.
This last spell is going to give us the rally, and it looks like we're attacking for, I don't know, 50 or so. Let me do some of that bust math for you. I started to look at it, and I was like, it's like 18, 11, and 12. That's like 40-something. It's probably close enough. 50 was a pretty spot-on guess. We got in there for 58. Good stuff. Not a bad round. Now, it does worry me, as we really needed to do like a lot of Samira things to make that round pop off, that as we do get towards the Lissandra round, like being limited to 3 spells is going to be kind of a pain in the dick, but hopefully we'll be okay. Now here, let's just add in more copies of Ashe. No complaints there. So moving on to the next bit, we got either a Mind Meld on top, which I play this over and over again and I still can't remember what it does. It's something with spells. And Slotbot lets us buy rerolls. I'm actually interested in these rerolls here. And so let's head down that way to, like, 3 seems like a good number. We can move forward. Looks like we got the snail moth into the item chest, something, and then battling Trundle. I think that's fine. All right. Okay, moving forward, man, it's not horrible putting predicts onto flash freeze. Like, it's actually pretty good, but it's just so annoying to have to deal with that every time. And so we'll add that in. Move forward, we got an item chest. You do need to remember we got that handful of rerolls now as well. And so with this, putting a Emperor's deck thing onto flash freeze, another reasonable play. Finally making our way to the shop. What do we got here for items? Epic onto Harsh Winds isn't that bad. Game Start Sentry's not that bad. What's on the front end, though? Don't need Spirits Unleashed as much as I love it. Icequake Reaver's not that good. We just got another Sigil of the Storm for the Frozen in Fear, huh? I'm going to pick that up. I like having this big stack of Titanic stuff, even though we haven't really used it at this point. And so I'm just going to pick up one copy of it to put the item on the Frozen in Fear. Moving back this way, we still can afford to upgrade 2 of our cards. And so I'm leaning towards giving the Game Start, draw the Sentry. And then I think like we're just pretty well set in terms of what our units can, or what we can like have in hand at that point, between starting with a champion, starting with an Omen Hawk, starting with an Avarosian Sentry. That's all well and good. With drawing from the Emperor's deck off of the flash freeze, like I think our card advantage is set. I'm looking to add this Last Breath Rally to the Avarosian Trapper. It should be fairly easy to kind of, well, it should be easy to, I'll say it this way, it should be easy to set up the combat, right? What shouldn't be easy is like guaranteeing the unit dies. It's very easy for the opposing board to just have all frostbitten units to where we may not be able to kill off the Trapper, but I think we can work with that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. So we'll snatch that up. I know at the beginning I forgot to edit my loadout. It's so weird that it's right here on that part of the screen. So let's get this updated real quick. Like I'm very proficient at upgrading the the setup here. We'll go Pride Month as much as we can. We'll get the Twisted Fate out there. Old Steve ready to join the team. Gotta have Sparky Von. Yep, there's Lux for the secondary part. We'll go with you, Jelly. Why not? We need one more. Where's Cupcake at? This is the stuff that matters. We passed up on our Cupcake Garen. Man, I like Heartbreaker as well. That's a good one. That's good stuff. This is more important than anything else happening within this run. We'll do this too. Let's turn on Top 8er. All right. Card styles, Samira. Fully skinned out. All right, we're ready for that Ornn battle now. It's such a bummer. Like, I hope they come up with a better way to integrate the skins to like a default or something. Like, I'm not certain what the real inspiration is to buy a lot of these skins. Is, you know, you tend to not play a lot of the same champion over and over again. But like, whenever we get Samira to pop into our deck, I would like her to kind of default to a default to a pretty looking skin that we commonly use. And so maybe one day. Alright, I think we're off to the races now, though. We got our Samira, we got the Rhinefang Wolf. Gonna add our Ashe in for the turn. Took a little chunk of damage, but shouldn't be that harsh at the end of the day. Now we just get the full KO on the opposing board. Sucks to be Trundle. Sucks to be Trundle. That Fey Dragon Ashe, Soul Fighter Samira. These are the important things to have out here. I guess we'll add this stuff to the board. Like, I don't want to get the board just like to where we're overwriting, which it seems like we're about to rapidly approach. Take our Predict an Emperor's deck card, I guess. I think we can kill off this Abrosian Trapper.
Strike now.
Who do we want off of the... I think we could go with the Kingfisher off the Titanic. This is another way to get a rally. I know we already have 2 champions on board, so we may not be able to do it,
I'll
but
lead us to victory.
seems like a reasonable thought. What's our Samira at? Like 5 of 6? 4 of 6. Okay, it's like I probably could have flipped her as well. Shit's popping now, though. We Titanicked into the Eternal Gladiator, a big old attacker.
The trolls are going to war.
That's annoying.
All.
What are you supposed to do now? I was ready to just autopilot. He's coming out and taking our Ashe off the board. That shit's kind of annoying. What's even left? Like, we can Crystal Arrow the Usgar, and then maybe just throw away in front of Trundle. Like, we could, he's vulnerable, so we can Ice Veil Archer the Trundle out of combat. I don't think we need to Omen Hawk him.
Arrows at the ready.
So this will give us our Ashe back. We most certainly want to have Ashe back at this point. Might as well drop a flare. Do these fight? They strike each other. Let's just kill Trundle. Fine, you know? It's like we have all this cards and we have all this space and everything. I think just getting the opposing units off of the board is probably going to be good enough. It does give us a chance to add the Abrosian Trapper to the board now. Maybe pick up a rally somewhere.
The trap is set.
Oh, not that Ashe Flash Freeze. Anything interesting here? Stylish shot? Sure.
The time is
Why not? Why not, they say.
Don't hold anything back.
So we should be good now, right? We can most certainly rally Samira next turn. We got a bunch of cheap stuff in hand. Might just be it's not quite 40 attack on the open, but it's close. How many cards do we even have in hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ugh. Ugh. Where's the thing that tells me how many cards we have? It's on the deck. 10 out of 10.
Try to keep up.
Okay. Easy game Trundle, that's what they call him.
swiftly now.
Is that 43 coming in? That's annoying, dude. Just playing a bunch of useless nonsense now. And a flash freeze. Okay. Let's at least try and level up our Samira a little bit so that she can rally pretty quickly next turn. Just come in and start overriding stuff, I guess. It's probably going to be tough to use this Trapper, right? We'll just put Sejuani down. This is what I meant earlier with Sejuani being easy to flip. Whenever we cast these spells and deal the damage, very easy to just have the flip ability on call. Don't want any of that garbage.
Blinking. The time is
It's a
right.
matter of
Strike
time.
now.
A chill in the air.
It's like we have too much stuff in our hand now. I definitely don't want to be in the spot to where we overdraw like our flash freezes.
Not and ready.
But oh man, just let me do it. Just let me play the cards and call it a day.
Keep up.
There's 1. Here's 2. Oh my god, finish. That's what she said.
The time is
right?
Strike now.
That's wildly inappropriate bust. Wildly inappropriate. But alright, here we go. Here comes the rally.
Tried to keep up.
Everything's all frostbitten. Just got to get the units in the middle. Call it a day. Okay, easy stuff. Let's get ourselves ready for that. Ready for that Lissandra.
Too easy. Where was the danger?
So what do we got? Some kind of thing for Sejuani? Sure. I don't want to add any of these other cards to our deck. We're never going to play Howling Abyss or the Bjerg. Moving out. What's that? Item chest or champion item? Let's hit the champion items. I want to load up Ashe. Ooh, it's getting double attack, though. Very tempted to put the double attack on Samira. The downside with Samira is we don't have Overwhelm, right? She can randomly get it from casting Frostbites or something, but that's it. Kind of more tempted to just put Barrier on Ashe, so that if we have to get Ashe into combat the turn that we play her, right? You don't know what the attack token's going to be, so if we're on the odd attack tokens and the opponent gets to start attacking on turn 2, but we want to play Ashe on turn 2, letting her have Barrier is going to let her get in there and block. I don't think we need the speed out of the heavy hands. I think we should be winning these games to where Ashe is on the board.
At last, my time
Okay,
is at
now
hand.
the double stat power to the first unit should be a good pull for us. You know, just flash freezing whatever that big unit is. Doesn't care too much about the stats otherwise. So we'll keep the dog, we'll keep the stylish shot, all things that we can easily cast here in the early game. Might just like pull the trigger and pop with this stylish shot on the first turn. Like, there's going to be a good target for Omen Hawk. Oh, this is a great start. I don't like calling my shot. I've called it too many times and just fucking failed. But I think we are looking exceptionally strong here in this one. This is a great start. Let's see. We'll take the capture on Lissandra. Oh, that was the third one. This game. It's this thing, right? Forget it every fucking time. But looking good. Looking good. Very strong start. Now we can play Ashe. Exactly what I was talking about in terms of wanting to pick up Barrier on Ashe. Right? We get to put her on board. Now she can just block this round. She can block this overstatted Lissandra. Definitely on board.
I will unite the Freljord.
You failed in your last life, and you will fail in this one.
Ages pass, but
I don't think we're gonna take too much. Like we're gonna get domed this turn, right? We're taking some damage for certain, but
Do as I command.
shouldn't be too bad. Ooh, the board just filled out a slot. I was gonna say we can potentially just block with the Omen Hawk, and since he has a full board, we won't lose out on
lead the target.
like he wouldn't get the second Lissandra. But
No backing down.
okay. It's a little greedy doing it this way, but like once we're up and running next turn, I think we'll be fine. So I just went ahead and cast Shared Spoils. Our hand is just immediately gonna fill out, and so I don't think we need to hang on to it. It's gonna drop the Watcher this turn. That's my concern, is just the opponent playing the Watcher, and then we wouldn't have the ability to like stop it from attacking. So it's like we want him to play the Watcher on our attack token, so we can kill it with the dogs before it gets to attack. Pick up the Tusk Raider. It's kind of on theme with Sejuani, sure, but I don't think we're never going to play the cost reduction dragon and have it do anything effective.
A true Freljordian welcome.
So what's this? A bunch of ice shards and a buried in ice? Ugh, we did not play around buried in ice. We were just fucked. Is that what's happening here? I knew we shouldn't have called our shot. We've played 2 cards on the turn. So we do have a legitimate copy of Ashe in our hand. That might be the saving grace we need. I'm going to go ahead and drop this last Flash Freeze as our card for the turn. Sejuani is super far away from flipping. You don't want any of these. I guess there's a world where we spike a spell shield, right? Oh, spell shield wouldn't even do anything. It's tough. I'm gonna edit the video, take out that part where I call my shot. Take that right out. That's brutal. At least we still have our revive. So we could play Ashe next turn, but I mean that's not going to do anything. Harsh Winds, it's pretty far away as well. If Sejuani was flipped, she would have been interesting, but okay. Let's give that a second shot. It's still like it's so tough. It's like when you're getting prepared in the space of constructed and you want to play a match, you can just like play the match over and over again, right? You can get a buddy to play the deck and have at it over and over. It's like it's so tough for me to like get 50 matches in against the Lissandra match and just understand what's going to happen all the time because it takes 35 minutes to get here. So it's tough to pull that stuff off. All right, let's try a little better this round. We'll keep the flash freeze. Drawing double Ashe is kind of meh, but I think our plan is still okay. Samira, Bird, the dog's here.
No need to make a name for myself, just an impression. No problem.
So I'm going to play the dog after, but we have to get the attack in now. Right? If he has another frozen thrall and gets the big boy on board, we're going to be too far behind. So missing out on 3 points of damage isn't that big of a deal when opponent's at 100. So I think that's good. I like how we handled that round. Now, much like that previous game, we should be able to get Ashe on board, but maybe we actually wait. Like taking the bank into next turn isn't bad, and then if opponent attacks here, we have the flash freeze to get the Rhymefang Wolf kill. So we'll target Lissandra. Definitely happy to pick up a Wolf next turn. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. We might have to wait a turn or two to play it, but I think that looks good. Taking 15 is a fairly healthy life total as well. So let's lead off with Ashe. I don't know if we're gonna get, you know, popped by a Buried in Ice again, but he's 1 mana short of Buried in Ice. But having the Wolf after, oh, we're gonna be short of playing the Wolf as well. God damn it. That's annoying. Bird's gonna die here. Oh shit, Smear already had Challenger. He's gonna be like, well, she's about to die to all these ice shards. We at least get to spike her back into the Frostguard Thrall, but... Okay.
Ages pass, but I am eternal. Embrace the fire. Feel the power of true ice.
Hope they're watching.
To do something like this, it's not spectacular, right? But we'll get another flare, we'll get some chip damage in on these units, we'll get an additional frostbite in with Ashe, get her a little bit closer to flipping. I had higher hopes for this turn. I thought we were going to be able to get a dog in and, you know, hook down and kill the Frostguard Thrall or something, but as long as we didn't get snapped by Buried in Ice, it at least feels a little bit more positive there. Down to 6. Can't watch her as just yet. ice shards are fairly scary. Let's just drop a wolf. And we'll still have access to double flash freeze. I'm pretty certain our Ashe is just going to die this turn. Like, we might have a chance to just like let Ashe die and then replay the other copy of Ashe, the free copy of Ashe. But I mean, we have like 1,000 copies of Ashe in our hand. It's not that big of a deal at this point. You want any of this nonsense? Not really. This isn't really a stylish shot stage of the game.
Time is right. Strike now. I'll lead us to victory.
I wish I had a counter on how many spells we'd played this turn. We played a wolf and we played a flash freeze, so we're only going to be able to play one more card. I think it's okay to have Ashe fall, and then our Samira is going to die as well. Maybe we look to do something like this, and then just flash freeze out this middle Frostguard Thrall, so we don't take nearly as much damage. So we'll kill off the Lissandra. We bounce against the Bulwark. I'm pretty happy to have these Bulwarks just sit on the board anyways, because they're the shittiest unit the opponent can have. We'll give up on Ashe, but we have more Ashes after this turn. And we'll just prevent that damage. Okay. Another Samira. Is that interesting? Not really.
The time is right. Strike now.
Does Ascended Call just like win us the game? is that a thing? Ashe just got monstrous as well. We gotta rethink this. I don't know what she hit, but she hit a ton of fucking stats.
Lead the target.
Take 12. Have our Ashe not die. This may have been a better combat just anyways. We could massively limit the amount of damage we're gonna take, but I like keeping as many of these dogs on board as we can to try and combat the Watcher. Just I am very bad though about being like, oh, everything's okay, we're super far on board, and then we fall to like 6 and just die to these ice shards. Ascendant's Call. Like, I'm eyeballing it. Rally, summon Renekton and Nasus, level them up to 3. That's got to be a huge thing. All right, I'm gonna play this defensively. We at least get the trade on this guy, right? We don't just straight up lose our wolf. He's got fairly low amount of health, so.
Stinging cold.
So tempting to just drop this thing. This Ascendant's Call, right? I mean, it's like we get a rally. I don't remember what like level 3 Renekton and Nasus actually do, but I know that level 2 Nasus has Spell Shield. So like at the end of the day, regardless of how bad it goes, like that Nasus should still be on the board, right? So we have a good attack here. We get to take both of his units down. Okay, I'm feeling better about this. And then maybe opponent will just like snap off of Buried in Ice right now, right? It's like, how sick would that be? It's off the table. Ascendant's Call. Okay. This was not on my bingo card. Not what I ever planned to do. Level 3 Renekton, level 3 Nasus. Strap in for the Sundisk video. Oh, this got to be huge, right? Played this game since the beta. Haven't got any of these level 3 units on board. Oof. Ooh, that feels good. So many movies.
Rises and the cycle is complete.
Alright, I gotta stop and read these real quick. One moment, please. Renekton. When I block or attack, not attack or block, when I block or attack, deal 2 to enemies and the enemy nexus, okay? And then Nasus gives enemies -3. Alright, sure. Feeling a lot better about this now. Feeling a lot better. It's gonna take us a couple of turns to get through all of this, but the damage has been done.
Show me a target.
Let's see, the Frostbitten Bro is gonna be the Thrall. Renekton can survive against the dude here. Nasus. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Who had that on their bingo card today, huh? Fey Dragon Ashe, level 3 Renekton, level 3 Nasus. It's not how I planned to take this one down. Board here comes in. Then the game lagged. I was like, doesn't that put dudes on the board and let him drop the Watcher? Sure did. So let's not fuck this up. I think we want to get the Trapper on board. So if he does attack, we can pick up a rally for the turn. And then we can just deal with the Watcher. That doesn't kill all of our deck, right? It leaves some cards within. Who do you want on your side? Do you want a 64 attack Watcher? Oh, he's just not even going to attack with it? LOL. That's weak, dude. That's weak as shit. Alright. Squad. Hang on. We did not want to do that. I gotta pull this Ashe back. If we want to get the rally off of this attack, we need to not swing with Ashe. A little bit of oversight. Got excited about how we were just annihilating the opponent here. So this will give us the attack token back, and hopefully we can finish from there. Still have to worry about garbage like Buried in Ice, I guess, but this seems like the way to do it to me. Entomb on Nasus is annoying. Could just play another Ascended Call. We picked up. That's what we'll look to do next turn. Oh no, did we miss our chance to play a card? That was sloppy. We could have just taken down the Watcher. It's like, I know we're so far ahead that I stopped paying attention to this stuff, but... okay. Okay, get it back together, Bus. You're having too much fun. Too much fun. Can't throw it away at this point. We still get one more?
Stand together.
So we got our Frostbitten guy in front of Renekton. He can block Ashe if he wants. Okay. I guess we'll just finish it off with another Ascendant's Call, right? Not how I expected this to go. I got our focus back though. We're on point with what's happening in this game. Gotta get it finished. Get that hype for these Ascendant's Calls though. Give me that rally. This has got to do it now, right? How many more times can we say this stuff? It's weird that Renekton doesn't get bonus attack anymore once he's once he's in level 3 form. It's almost like getting +3/+3 is better than dealing 2 damage to everything. Alright, good to go. As long as we aren't decking ourselves. I've run into that issue as well. Everything seems safe. Got a big old board. Squad coming in. I do have an attack token. Here comes. GG. Well played. Ashe taking it all down. So what a finish. What a way to bring in the end of the day, huh? Just double Ascendance calls. Sometimes that's what you need. It's not the power of the frost. It's not the power of the snow. It's the power of the desert at the end of the day. Bringing in those victories felt pretty good. And so, we can bring this up, talk about it a little bit. I've been pretty happy with this setup with Ashe. I know that like there are some other champions that are happy to have this Grand General's plan as well, but like I ultimately worry about how good it's going to be. As you can see in that final battle, we had all those flash freezes, but they didn't necessarily stop a unit like the Watcher. They didn't stop like Lissandra from just casting a bunch of ice shards and stuff. And so it takes a bit of finessing to get it to work. But at the end of the day, I think it's a pretty strong way to tackle this Ashe and have her do well in these events. And so, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way, and you had a good time watching it. This is Bust and we thank you for being here.